Daily Show host Jon Stewart appeared on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace. Not surprisingly, the best question was asked by Jon Stewart.
You believe that Fox News is exactly the ideological equivalent
I think
of
we're the
NBC
counterweight.
News?
I think we're the counterweight.
You believe that?
I think that they have a liberal agenda, and
Right.
I think we tell the other side of the story.
Wallace didn't notice that he was contradicting himself by saying, quote, we tell the other side of the story. At other moments, Wallace tries to claim that Fox News is fair and balanced, meaning it doesn't tell any side of the story, it actually just tells the story. But Wallace was trapped in the box that Jon Stewart put him in for the rest of the interview. Wallace goes on to maintain that ABC News and the New York Times are full of liberal bias and that Fox News is neutral. He also insists that Fox News doesn't ever pick sides, even when he's talking about things outside of his show. I just think Wallace never should have tried to defend anything outside of the borders of his own show, because Wallace's confusion and his defensiveness just held up throughout the whole discussion.
I don't think our viewers are the least bit disappointed with us. I think our viewers think, finally, they're getting somebody who tells the other side of the story.
And
No. One more
who is the
example.
most consistently misinformed media viewers? The most consistently misinformed? Fox viewers. Consistently. Every poll, my beef isn't with you.
Okay.
But I believe you exist as, I think that Mr. Ailes has very brilliantly put you on it. I think that you are here, in some respects, to bring a credibility and an integrity to an organization that might not otherwise have it without your presence. So you are here as a counterweight to Hannity, let's say, or you are here as a counterweight to Glenn Beck, because otherwise it's just pure talk radio and it doesn't establish the type of political play that it wants to be.
There's not a single marching order. There's not some kind of command. There's not a single memo. I
disagree with. Here's the difference between you and I. I'm a comedian first. My comedy is informed by an ideological background. There's no question about that. But the thing that you will never understand, and the thing that in some respects conservative activists will never understand, is that Hollywood, yeah, they're liberal, but that's not their primary motivating force. I'm not an activist. I'm a comedian.
Wallace's most revealing personal moment came when he revealed he does not know the meaning of the word comedy.
Can we talk about your network?
Yes.
Can we talk about Comedy Central? Because
be delighted to.
Case in point.
All right.
How did you physically have sex with Tommy Lee? He has a huge. If he put that thing in front of my face, I wouldn't know whether I should it or feed it a peanut.
It's not exactly Masterpiece Theater you're working for.
You're damn right. And I think I am perfectly placed.
I had to prepare. I had to go through episodes of South Park. I had to see Cartman's Mom is a Slut, parts 1 and 2.
Can I tell you something
I had
about
to look
South Park,
at Reno 911.
Can I tell you something about those guys? They are brilliant guys. Did you really have to watch all those South Parks? Because they are funny.
Well, okay.
Those guys are brilliant.
I disagree with you again.
Oh, really?
Joining me now, Rachel Maddow, host of the Rachel Maddow Show. Rachel, thanks for coming in a little bit early tonight.
I'm happy to be here, and it's so satisfying to see Chris Wallace self-inflict that Tommy Lee joke on himself and on all of Fox News. That was amazing.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, he was comparing Fox News to Comedy Central. That was his choice, Rachel, to do that comparison, not understanding that the word that Fox needs to defend in its title is news, and the word that Comedy Central needs to defend in its title is comedy, and everything he showed was comedy.
Everything he showed was comedy, and it was clearly just a play to get that kind of stuff on Fox News in order to entertain their viewers, thereby using Comedy Central's, they're using their own accomplishment to make Fox's own point. It was such a strange interview. I can't believe that went the way that Chris Wallace intended it to.
Well, I think, Jon Stewart's point about Fox News has Chris Wallace on there just so they can say they have him, just so they can say they have a reasonably fair Sunday morning show. It comes in dead last in the ratings. David Gregory just kills it, by a million miles, and so it isn't there as a real business. It's just there as a fig leaf for the Fox News people to claim there's a news show Sunday morning.
Well, I think it was a smart move, sort of tactically, by Jon Stewart at that point, too, because he's sort of playing to Chris Wallace's sense of self. He's saying to him implicitly, come on, Chris Wallace, you know that what you do every day is not the same thing as what Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck does. And so he's both making the point and he's also driving a wedge right down the middle of Fox News and their marquee talent. I think that Jon is very, very good at these things, just tactically as an arguer, and I really think that's why that particular point landed like a ton of bricks on Chris Wallace.
Well, that's why you're here, Ms. Maddow. You are the resident expert on Jon Stewart because you've had one of these long conversations with him on your show about what is it that you're doing, what are you intending to do, what are you trying to do. You didn't seem terribly confused by by the presence of Jon Stewart in our culture. Chris Wallace seemed to pretend that there never was a Mark Twain, there never was any predecessor to someone who is able to make jokes and be funny and comment on current events.
And the other amazing thing, yes, that's totally true. A complete, I don't believe that South Park is funny. Come on, there's nobody in America who doesn't believe that South Park is funny. But also, I don't think that people broadly think of Chris Wallace as being as ideological as many of the other hosts in the Fox lineup. But to hear him go straight out of talk radio with this liberal media bias, NBC is liberal media bias, to hear him sound like a daytime talk radio host and say that, have him caricature not only the rest of the media, but Jon Stewart that way, I just thought I sort of took a step back and thought, oh, Chris Wallace is not actually the guy that I thought he was. He's a lot more like the other Fox News hosts than we knew, and not in a way that I think flattered him.
You could smell whiffs of the Fox Kool-Aid on his breath right through the TV, Rachel. I'm telling you, I thought it was hugely revealing, and I just think, here's what I think. I think it's really sad. I think he actually doesn't think that Comedy Central stuff is funny. He attacked Reno 911. How dare he?
How dare he? In fact, that makes me want to go organize a protest.
Yeah, it's just, it's crazy.
Admit it's funny. Admit it's funny.
Comedy Central has the perfect defense. This is funny. This is a joke. It's comedy. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Rachel, thank you very much for coming in early. I actually squeezed some stuff out of the show so that we would have more time to talk to you, and so my viewers can go to our Last Word website, lastword.msnbc.com, to check the material that we cut so that we could give you Rachel early.